What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Recap of yesterday. We ended up 3-1 on the free pick. So the only one to sell us was our man Lorenzen. Lorenzen could not finish the 5th inning and start the 6th. He had 14. We needed 16 to cash. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. The other 3 we had were Hicks, pitching outs. We actually got pretty lucky on that one. His pitch count got pretty high, but he did cash. We had Cabrera walks. That one was free. And we had Sanchez strikeouts, which was also free. So we've got the final day of the play-ins for tonight. Playoffs start tomorrow. Looking at the games for today, we have the Heat versus the Hawks. And then we have the Mavericks versus the Grizzlies, which you guys can see on my screen. If you guys want to try out the platform that I have pulled up here, it is called OUTLIER. There's a free 7-day trial link down in the description. Just use our code and we'll get you guys free a week. But anyways, guys, looking at some of our wins from yesterday, we cashed this Arizona and Pirates money line or parlay, $75 to win. The total payout on this was $210. The profit's $135, so $135 profits on that slip, which is good. We did cash a 4-man 10x yesterday on our VIP, $50 to win 500. Freed, De La Cruz, Polanco, and Rayleigh, and you can see that one did cash us out. And then we cashed this chalkboard slip as well. Trevor Williams strikeouts with Rodriguez over the win, the Arizona win. I had a little bit on Arizona, a little more than I wanted. It was slightly sweaty, but it did cash us out. If you guys do want to get every single play, make sure you guys click that link down in the description. Join our WAP. You can join our Discord for free, but we'd love to have you guys a part of the community. You can get a free month sign up for any partnered app. Links for all those are down in the description. Your boy's kind of struggling a little bit this morning for some reason. I don't know why, but I am. But anyways, I am going to pick a winner from yesterday's video to win a free month of VIP. If this video gets 250 likes, I'll pick another random comment down below to win a free month. So make sure you guys smash that like button, drop a comment, and we'll get you guys added. You do have to be subscribed to win. But let's pick our winner from yesterday. Winner is for Jesus. I'm just going to call you Time Wizard. I'm just calling you Time Wizard. Hope everyone cashes today. Well, Jesus, hope you cashed yesterday too, man. Send me a message on Discord. I will get you added for a free month. Appreciate the love and support from everybody. And yeah, let's jump into our plays. So today what we're going to do, we're going to go over our sports book bets or money lines or whatever you want to call them. Then we're going to jump into the player props. So first game of the day that we have is the Miami Heat versus the Atlanta Hawks. And my player props, I do have one player from every single team today. So those are the 4 that we're going to go with. And looking at this first game, Heat versus Hawks. My opinion on the game. So right now, it's pretty much even odds. You got -104 for the Heat, or for the Heat on FanDuel, -105 for Atlanta on DraftKings. So you can pretty much just take this any team you want and roll with it for the same payout. Now, me personally, I think the Heat looked better their last game than the Hawks looked better than the Hawks looked their last game. Now the Hawks had a tough matchup versus the Magic. The Heat had I didn't think the Heat's matchup was as tough as the Magic personally. So the Bulls, I didn't think the Bulls were too much of a threat. I had the Heat winning. I know a lot of people were against it. I liked the Heat better as a team. I kind of like the Heat better as a team tonight versus the Hawks. So if I had to pick one, I'm taking the Miami money line on this one. I think this one is coin flip. There's a lot of playoff experience. Trey's been here before. He knows what to do. I could see him showing out, but Miami has a good defense as well. Herro looked phenomenal his first game. Bam looked good the first game of the play-in tournament. So I'm rolling with the Heat. I'll be locking in the Heat money line today. I'll probably straight bet it, and then I'll probably pair it with the next game that I have. And either way, I like Miami. So looking at the public betting on this one, the money lines, 74% of the bets and 80% of the money is on Miami. So if you feel like taking the Hawks for the same payout, honestly, based off of how things go with Vegas, you guys know that a lot of the times when a lot of money is on one prop, it misses. You have your chance here to take the opposite of where the money is and take the Hawks. And I think it's a competitive game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means. So either way, I think that that there's an argument for both sides, but I personally like the Heat. I'll be locking them in. So looking at the spread on this, it's a -1.5 or +1.5 for the Heat. I would obviously take the +1.5 for the Heat before I took -1.5 for the Hawks for at -120. That's just my opinion on this. And you can see the percent of money and the bets are on the same side as me on this one. The over/under on this one's slightly tough. Obviously, Atlanta's a pretty fast-paced team. They give up a lot of stats for the most part. Miami's not really that in the same category as the Hawks in terms of pace. I do think it will go pretty decently high scoring. Now this 218.5 and it's kind of, that one's coin flip in my opinion. So I'll probably fade the total on this one and either go with the money line or the spread, and it'll probably just be a straight bet money line for me. So that's what I'm going to go with on this first game. Jumping into the second game, we have the Mavericks versus the Grizzlies. So this one, I didn't have too much trouble taking my pick. Now this could end up the same way as the Kings game. So I had Sacramento beating Dallas. I didn't think Dallas was too much of a threat to Sacramento. I don't think Dallas is too much of a threat to the Grizzlies either. But Morant did roll his ankle at the end of that last game. Morant, I don't think he's hurt too bad, but I'm hoping that ankle's not sore, man. So for me, it's going to be Grizzlies money line. It is minus 250. Grizzlies minus 6.5. I probably wouldn't play. I would probably play them minus 3.5 and probably like minus 140-ish odds, and I'd probably play that with Miami if I was going to make a parlay between the two. Dallas plus 6.5 might be a good play. Dallas showed out versus the Kings, man. AD didn't look bad. I think AD is going to have a good game tonight versus Memphis. I really do. Both teams give up a lot of stats. It's going to be a pretty fast-paced game. The 221's another one. I don't like the totals as much. I'll probably fade the total on this game as well. Looking at public betting, you can see 66% of the bets are on the Grizzlies, but 59% of the money are on the Mavericks. So there's less bets for the Mavericks, but more money. And that might be a good sign for people wanting the Mavericks to win. Looking at the spread, 62% of bets and half the money is on the Mavericks in terms of spread. So overall, guys, this it's minus 250 odds for a reason, in my opinion. I think the Grizzlies have the better team. I think they're going to win, and that's my analysis on that game. So I have the Heat and the Grizzlies winning tonight, if you guys do want to tell. So props. Jumping into our player props of the day. I have it sorted. Heat Hawks game. That way we ain't looking at any of the props from tomorrow's games. And let's jump into our first pick of the day. So first pick of the day is going to be over on the Heat side of things. My pick for the Heat is going to be Tyler Herro. So Tyler Herro, I called it the last game. I told you guys I thought he was going to show out. I'm expecting another show out game tonight. So I don't think he's going to shoot 80% like he did his last game. So you can see he literally shot 70 or I thought he shot 76%. 68%. Anyway, he shot 68% last game, which is pretty much 70%. He had a really, really good game versus the Bulls with 47 PRA. Now, I'm buying this line down. So my pick for the day is going to be 33.5 PRA. You can get this over here on Parlay Play, which is where I recommend you guys play it. Tyler Herro. If you guys do sign up for Parlay Play, and now they add promos. There was no promos a minute ago when I was researching. But anyways, you can take Tyler Herro points, 22.5. I think he cashes that. Or you can get his PRA at 33.5 for a 1.5x, which I like this play a lot. If I had to pick between the two, honestly, it's the same payout. That 22.5 is a better line. I think that's probably the move. I think that's the move. Now, I like his PRA a lot. I had his PRA. Like I said, there was no promo on the board. That 22.5 is a good line. So let's swap over to 22.5 points and just see what we have going on here. So he's cashed at 7 of his last 10, 50% of his last 20. He's cashed at 6 of his 7 games versus Atlanta. So he averages 27 points per game versus the Hawks. This season there is 4 games, 28, 11, 24, and 36 that he played versus the Hawks. So he did have that one bad game, but overall he's dominant versus the Hawks in terms of scoring. So that's why I like this PRA as well. So having that points line for the same payout at a discount, it's impossible not to take, or I ain't gonna say impossible, but it's hard not to take the points over the PRA. So for me, I'm gonna take this promo. Now you can get the 33.5 on other apps. If you take the promo, this promo is obviously specifically going to be for Parlay Play. Now I recommend everybody have Parlay Play. My favorite app by far. Say this every video. Sign up with code Fantasy Aces. You will get a free month of our VIP. They give you a deposit match up to $100, and they throw in an extra $5 for free. So you get a free $5 bet, and you get a deposit match up to $100 and free VIP. No brainer, especially when you're getting better value and better slips. That's just my opinion. But Tyler Herro, 22.5 points. We're going to go with the first pick of the day. Looking at Atlanta's points defense, give up 26 in the league in points. The bottom 5 in the league in terms of points allowed. Go to point guard is 10th. Shooting guard is 27th. So bottom 3 to the shooting guard. If we pull this play up over on Props Madness, Tyler Herro, he has a good matchup. So he shoots 19% under the rim, 25% in the paint, 8% mid-range, and then he shoots a whopping 48% from behind the three-point line, whereas a green matchup. Everything else is yellow. 53% of similar players have cashed versus the Hawks, and then 60% of shooting guards have cashed versus the Hawks. So overall, great matchup for Tyler Herro, in my opinion, especially with the way that he's played versus the Hawks in the past. I don't see him not dropping 23 points in the biggest game of the season right now, a game that they have to win, and I just really like this one. Looking at field goal attempts, he shot 19 field goal attempts per game versus the Hawks. Look at his last 10, he's averaging right at 17. He shot 19 his last game versus the Bulls. I expect something similar. I expect probably close to 20 field goal attempts, and I think he's going to cash this out. So that is pick number 1, Tyler Herro, 22.5 points. Or if you want to lock into 33.5 PRA, I like that line a lot as well. But that's our first one. Jumping to the other side of things, we're going to jump into our pick over from the Hawks side of things. I'm locking in. I'm running it back, man. Running it back with Dyson Daniels. Dyson Daniels completely obliterated his line last time in rebounds and assists. I'm rolling with that prop. So let's take a look. His RA for this game has been bumped a point. It is no longer 10.5. It is 11.5 for this game. Look at the last 3 games he's played. 18, 18, and 19. Now, I know it's only 3 games, but the dude has been showing out, and that's versus the Magic. He just had 19 RA versus the Magic, and they got beat by 25 points. So it was pretty much a blowout loss to the Magic, where he still had 19 RA, 12 rebounds, 7 assists. The Magic have like a top 5 defense and everything. You can see opponent rank 1. They do not give up many stats at all to rebounds and assists, especially to the guard position. So that one, I trusted my gut on it, and he completely showed out. This game is another team that doesn't give up many stats. We know Miami is 19th and 15th in terms of rebounds and assists overall. If you go to the guard position, shooting guard is 19th and 4th. Point guard is 19th and 26th. So to the guard position overall, they're giving up way more than the Magic. And head-to-head data versus Miami, he has 3 games this season, 13, 10, and 11. So he's come really close to 2 games he's missed. He hasn't pulled it off, though. But this game, like we already talked about, guys, these games are this is pretty much their last game if they lose. So they have to win this game to keep their season going, to make it to the playoffs, to have a chance for that championship run. This is Dyson Daniels' chance. He's had a good season. I expect him to have another good game today. I expect at least 12 RA. That's my opinion. If you want to fade it, obviously, guys, it is obviously it's a point higher than it was the last game, so you could fade it if you wanted to. But Dyson Daniels is going to be my second pick of the day. I will pull this up over on Parlay Play. We're going to go with rebounds and assists. So you can actually buy this down if you wanted to. It's a regular payout at 1 point, or slightly less than a regular payout at a 1.67x for RA. We will see what they have on Prizepicks just to see if there's better value here. Type in Dyson Daniels. And we're going to look for his rebounds and assists. I could just look for, so you can actually get a better payout on Prizepicks taking RA at 11.5. So I would recommend getting Dyson here. Let's go ahead and pull up Herro. So if you decided to take Herro, 21.5 points, you can still get over a double up for this slip. So you actually could get some pretty good payout. If you look at this on Parlay Play, it's 2.3x for this, and you got a boosted payout at 22.5. So $75 on here is going to win you 168. It wins you 174. So it's almost the same payout, and you get a point lower on Herro. So maybe that's the move if you want to take it there. Actually, the value right now might be better on Prizepicks for these 2 plays, which is actually really surprising. I expected to see Dyson Daniels at 12 RA here, but he's not. You can play him on either app, and that is pick number 2. So for our next 2 picks, both are going to be on the other game, which is the Mavericks versus the Grizzlies. I've got 1 pick from the Mavericks, 1 pick for the Grizzlies. Jumping to the Mavericks pick of the day, I'm taking our man Anthony Davis. Now, this is a prop that's really, really risky. This is the riskiest one of the 4, in my opinion. I'm taking his points and rebounds at 37.5. So this is a prop. He has not been hitting. I mean, obviously, since leaving the Lakers, AD struggled. He got injured again. He's coming off of an injury. Now, look at how close he is in his last 5 games. So 49 versus the Hawks. 36, 36, 36. So dude has almost cashed in 3 of the last 4. He had that bad game versus the Lakers, which surprised me. But looking at field goal attempts. So he shot 23 shots his last game versus the Kings. I'm expecting similar workload tonight. Now, he shot, what, 36%, 39%, so he didn't have a super good shot his last game. He hasn't been shooting high field goal percentages overall anyway. He's been struggling with the shot. But versus Memphis, he has cashed, what, one of his 2 games this season. So he had 56 points and rebounds his last game. He had 40 points, 16 rebounds. Now, these 2 games, both games he was playing for the Lakers still. He don't have any data versus the Grizzlies while he's been playing for the Mavericks. But looking at AD for the first half of the season, he was kind of dominating this line. Lately, he has struggled. Now, I think AD is going to pop off tonight. Versus Memphis, a fast-paced team. Memphis gives up 24th in the league in points, 10th in rebounds. Go to power forward, it is 12th and 7th. So it's not really the best matchup in terms of stats allowed overall. But let's take a look at the shot chart for our man AD because it actually looked pretty good. So looking at AD, he has a yellow and a green matchup everywhere. So AD is going to shoot, what is this, 73% of his shots in the paint, which he has a yellow matchup in both of them. Middle of the pack in terms of defense. Mid-range, he has 16% of his shots. Then AD shoots 11% from behind the arc, where he does have a green matchup. So overall, everything doesn't look bad. AD does give a lot of free throws. Looking at his free throws per game, let's take a look here. So he's averaging 5.4 attempts per game. That's not as many as I thought. He had 6 his last game, made all 6. So obviously you got free throws to look forward to as well. Looking at points versus the Grizzlies, 36% of similar players have cashed, which is obviously not good. Go by position, only 47% have cashed in the power forward position. So overall, in terms of previous teams versus the Grizzlies, they're not that successful. But who do the Mavericks really have? That's what we got to look at. They don't have that many players. They got PJ Washington. I mean, obviously their team's not horrible. They're making it to the play-in tournament, but they don't have a lot of stars. AD is their star player right now, and in my opinion, AD is going to have to show out to even keep this game remotely close. I think that beating the Kings was huge for them. I think they had a great game, and I think they're going to keep that momentum going into this game. So I think AD is going to pop off. I'm expecting him to cash his points line, which is 26.5 or 27.5. So I think he's going to get 28 points. I think he gets us about 10 rebounds. So looking at that, the points and rebounds play, I got to lock him in at 37.5. So that is going to be our pick for the Dallas side of things. Like I said, this is the riskiest play, in my opinion, of the 4. This could be the only one that cashes, but I do think it's risky. AD is our 3rd pick. So let's pull him up. I don't enjoy playing AD right now either. AD he's bit me in the butt a few times now. So, and pause on that one, pause. But 1.6x payout on this one if you want to lock him in. They're not going to have this line on Prizepicks, unfortunately, but maybe a goblin pops up or something. I doubt it. But anyways, that is our 3rd pick. Jumping into our final play of the day. For the final play, we are jumping over to the Grizzlies side of thing. Now, I had Ja Morant locked in. I had Ja Morant picked to lock in, and I changed my mind. So I had Morant over 25.5 points. I think he shows out. I do. But that ankle, man, that ankle worries me. So I'm going to have to fade him. Morant might come and drop 30 points tonight. I can see it happening. His ankle may not be affecting him at all, but I do want to avoid him for now. So I'm taking Desmond Bane. I like Jaren Jackson Jr. as well, but Bane showed out his last game. So I'm taking Bane over points. I'm buying it down to 19.5. So I'm taking Bane over 19.5 points, betting on him to get 20. He's cashed this in 5 of his last 10. He's cashed it 4 of his last 5 games, 38, 19, 28, 24, and 30 in his last 5 games. He had 30 points versus Golden State, 24 versus Denver, 28 versus Minnesota, 38 versus Detroit. Some of these teams are pretty dang good defensively teams. And Dallas is not. Dallas gives up bottom 10 in terms of points allowed. If you go to point guard, it's 8th. Shooting guard, it's 17th. So not quite as good to the guard position. But overall, it's a bottom 10 team in terms of points allowed. Now, head-to-head data is where this pick shines. Looking at Bane versus the Mavericks. So if you look at him, he has, 2 games this season, which is 27 and 19. So he's cashed it one of the 2 games this season. But if you look at him for the previous seasons, he's cashed it 5 of his 6 games. And he's averaging almost 30 points a game. So dude pops off versus the Mavericks, averaging 20 field goal attempts per game. 24 his last game versus Dallas back on March 7th. 24 field goal attempts. Now, I don't know if Morant was playing in that one or not. But if you look at his last 5, he's still averaging 18 field goal attempts. 18 field goal attempts for 20 points. I'm locking it in all day. Just hope Bane has a good shot today. Hope he doesn't brick everything. I think he's going to cash. I'll pull it up over here on Props Madness to take a look at the shot chart. So look at here. It's not the greatest from the three-point line. So Bane shoots, what, 43% of his shots from behind the arc. So he has a red matchup there, which is rough. But he also shoots 47% in the paint, where he has 30% of his shots under the rim, 17% in the paint, where both of those matchups are a bottom 6 defense, which is a green matchup. So perfect there. Not good from the three-point line, but three-point line I can see Bane scoring on anyways. I think overall, I think this shot chart looks good, and I like it. So similar players versus the Mavericks, 60% of cashed. If you go by position, 40% of cashed. Overall, really like to play for Bane, especially seeing head-to-head data like this. I don't think you can get much of a better analysis in terms of head-to-head data, but regardless, Desmond Bane is going to be pick number 4 of the day over 19.5 points. So let's pull Bane up. 19.5, you got a 1.4x. And I did just see a promo for Morant. So they have Morant's PRA 34.5 boosted, which I honestly like that too if you guys want to play it. But anyways, those are the 4 plays I'm going with. From the Heat side of thing, we got Tyler Herro over 22.5 points. We got Dyson Daniels over 11.5 rebounds and assists. We got Anthony Davis over 37.5 points and rebounds. Fade this if you don't like it. That is a tough line. And then we got Desmond Bane over 19.5 points. So favorite of these picks is probably going to be Tyler Herro or Bane is my 2 favorites. Least favorite, I already told you guys, Anthony Davis. Don't play these into 4-man. You get a 5x payout on a 4-man. Don't do it. Split them up into 2s. You can mix and match any way you want. Some payouts are going to be lower for same game parlays. So you might have to switch them and keep one from each game on the prop. But regardless, guys, hope you guys have an awesome day. I hope you cash every single slip. Money lines, let's go back over them for recap for the people who may have missed it. Got the Heat money line, and I've got the Grizzlies winning. So you can play Grizzlies, and you can buy their spread down a little bit. Whatever you want. Those are going to be pretty much 6 plays overall. We'll come back tomorrow, see how we did. Hopefully, we have a good day. But anyways, hope y'all cash everything. Leave a like and comment on the video for a chance at free VIP. Join our Discord server. Links down in the description. Join our VIP to get every prop. Obviously, you go through our WAP for that. But anyways, hope you'll have a good one, and I will see you in the next one.